Okay, if you are thinking of buying a home, there are a few things you may want to keep in mind. Local realtor Paul Chunyk is here with the top 5 tips for home buyers. Paul, thank you so much for coming in. We do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me again.
We're already in the month of October. How's the real estate market looking out there right now?
It's good. It's picking up finally. You're seeing more homes turn over more quickly, so that's a positive sign.
Good news for San Diegans who are looking to buy or sell. When it comes to the buy side, you have 5 tips for people out there that are considering buying a home right now. Let's just get right to these. Number 1, create a budget and stick to it. How important is that?
It's extremely important. Of course, any budget can be fluid, but you really want to find your budget and stick to it. Don't compromise, because in the long run, you're not going to enjoy the house when your payments are eating up too much of your budget.
When you can't do anything else besides sit there and make a house payment.
Yeah, you can't watch TV because you can't pay the cable bill.
Right. Top ramen for dinner every night will get old.
Exactly.
So keep that in mind. Watch for hidden costs. This is really important because there are a lot of neighborhoods in San Diego that are very appealing, but when you start looking at the cost of the HOA and or the Mello-Roos and or additional fees on top of that, it can be quite shocking what that does to a person's payment.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to paulsells.com to download a free report, but HOA, Mello-Roos, some people don't realize that, going from a rental insurance to a homeowner's insurance is a huge jump. It's very expensive, so you got a budget for that.
Okay, that's one thing to keep in mind. paulsells.com. He has a list right there of the things that are commonly overlooked when it comes to buying a home, things that you did not factor into your budget. So paulsells.com for that. All right, don't look too far ahead into the future. This one surprised me when I read this particular tip. What do you mean by that?
Well, I see all the time people planning or buying a home planning on 20 years in the future, and typically in San Diego, people hold their home for 5 to 8 years. So don't buy a home for the 20-year plan. Don't plan your life like that, because as we all know, life throws curveballs at you and things may change. Your job may change. You may have more kids or less kids or no kids. So don't buy a home based on too far out in the future.
On the 20 or 25-year plan,
Yes,
more the
exactly.
10-year plan. Okay, good advice. Go through your wish list and pick the items that are need items and want items.
Yeah, so when you buy a home, of course there's a couple things that you're really going to want to have, and there's a couple things that are just wishes. Owning a home, you can always add the wishes later, but stick to those 3 to 4 I need items and look for those and don't compromise.
What are some of the things that people may not realize that they need in buying a home? Things that you tell your clients, hey, did you keep this in mind?
Yeah, well, so on the other side of that, like a want might be a pool. A need might be 3 bedrooms. So there's real structure in looking at what you need. You might need a big kitchen because you love to cook, so you might not want to compromise on that. So
I wish I would have thought of that before I bought my house. Our kitchen is tiny. All right, let's also talk about being patient. I know that a lot of people see the interest rates are low and they like to take advantage of that, but they really want to make sure that this is an investment that probably the largest investment a lot of folks will make in their lifetime.
Yeah, so of course interest rates are probably going to rise, but for now they are low, but don't feel like that's the only reason you're going to buy a home. And don't feel like if you don't find those things on your need list that you're just going to buy because you feel like you have to. In the long term, you want to be happy where you live and not looking back and say, oh, well, I guess I wish I wouldn't have bought in this home.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Buyer's remorse would be really tricky when it comes to spending that much money. Is there such thing as the perfect house?
I've never seen it. Even people I know that have built their own home, by the time they're done, they're looking back wishing they would have done something else. And again, you can always add something later or change something down the road. So again, it goes back to sticking to those needs, find those needs, and you can always build the house around you.
All right, Paul Chunyk, local realtor. Here's the information for him. If you want to get a hold of Paul, it's right there on your screen. We'll make it easy on you. Go to his website, paulsells.com. That's www.paulsells.com. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
For more information, you can also go to our website, sandiego6.com, and click on San Diego Living.